All right, guys. I'm going to finish these collages. I'm going to let everybody get in. Shut the door. Look out, Tay-Tay. For those of you watching this later on YouTube, this is a recording of a live stream, and I am talking to people. I'll leave the chat down below where you can see what we were talking about. And if we're using a heat gun or doing something boring, you're fine. Just fast forward through it. All right. So I was just going to share with you a little bit from my vacation. Hi, Dot. Is this early enough for you? I don't know if Xander's streaming tonight or not, but we got back from lunch and my laundry's done. Hi, Dar. So I thought I'd stream a little bit and work on a couple different things. Hi, Shauna. All right, so here's what the only thing I did on my vacation is one night in the room I worked out of this book, which I've shown you before. I haven't really used it. And I will say it was harder. It was harder than I thought. I don't know. So I just was working in my sketchbook that I had gotten. And I thought that if I liked them, they might make good patterns. So they're going to be hard to see because they're just, that was the rose. And it turned out okay. I think the only thing I don't like is the edge of the petals is a little too pointed to me. So I think if I were to, I would come in and kind of round those again if I were to use this rose. I'll hold it up so you can see it a little better. I didn't color it or do anything like that. And this is drawing paper, so it won't take watercolor. Plus, I just took pencils with me. I didn't take a whole lot. And then this was the peony pattern. And I thought this one came out better. Now, this one I would use as a pattern. But what I'll probably do is draw like a bud and a small or leaves. And then I could use this as a pattern to for future ones. Potentially, because I like to use graphite and put it on there. That's all I did. And that, like I said, that took a while. But that was the only thing I did when I was gone. This is what I bought. We went to Trinidad, Colorado, and Pueblo. And I saw things I liked in Trinidad. We only went into one art gallery. It was super hot, and we were walking around. We were trying to get something to eat, and we couldn't find the place we were looking for. They need labels on their places in Trinidad, just saying. Like, label the building where you can see what it is. So we didn't really find that many places to visit, but this one gallery was real good. But this was in Pueblo, and I found it was called the Steelworks Gallery, and it was a bunch of co-op. So I got this, and the artist's name is Nancy Goodenough, and it's an original oil pastel painting. And I thought that was real pretty. I was trying to find something kind of indicative of the area. So I'll matte and frame that later. And then I got this one, and I'm not sure. I think it's a digital photograph. Enhanced, but I don't know if it was originally a watercolor or if it was just a photo, but love the colors in this one. And this is by Bill Crane. But again, it didn't say, most of his work was photography, which is why I think this is a photograph manipulated in one of those programs like Mirror Lab or Mosaic Art. And so I thought it was really pretty. And we did take some pictures, so I will probably do some watercolor of my own of the area. And the pours that we did, I have those cleaned. And I can show you those that are dry. This is the last one that we did. And it turned out real pretty. It's hard to see the colors. This looks kind of grayed out or washed out, but in person, you can see the individual cells and the lime green. This one's the first one we poured, and it's a little muddier, but I think this one will be pretty with a mermaid on it, because this reminds me of like kelp, like seaweed. And again, it's on my screen, it's not as green as it is in real life. The lime green isn't as bright on the camera to me. And then this one, I've already started what I want to do with it. I had this reference photo of a little girl who dropped her umbrella that was putting her hand down in a puddle. And this kind of could be the puddle to me. So I'm going to kind of put in a foreground in here and do that. And she's drying, so I can use the Pitt markers on that. And then I thought some kind of phrase, but I don't know what yet. We'll pick something out. I think that's one of the things I'll work on tonight. Hi, Max. Welcome. Do we know you by another name, maybe? Or is this your first time? And for those of you, if you just put questions to me in all caps, that helps me know that you're talking to me. This is the collage that we did the other day. And I, during Lena's stream, added napkin flowers in here because I thought it helped meld it together. And then I have a girl and I put her dress on. So she's ready to paint. So we'll work on her. And then this was the other collage that we did the other night. And I added this napkin when we were on the stream. So I added a quote. And I added a girl and her dress. And she's ready to paint. And I added these three little like raised stickers that were florals. And then these are the two papers that we dipped the other day. And I thought the next thing that might be fun to do those is put a layer of the grunge paste on them. And I'm going to do that and let it dry. I won't do anything to those tonight except for put a layer of the grunge paste. And I'm going to try to find, I just kind of want a background stencil. So I'm going to try to find one of Joan's that I want to use in places. I don't want it everywhere. I think I'm going to use that one. And I actually think I might use some of those leaves. I don't know what I want to put on it in the end. So I'm just going to take the grunge paste and a palette knife. Yeah, I think I'll I think I'll put a little bit of this. And then I'm probably going to use some of Joan's smaller ones that she sent me. I also thought about using some of the cutouts. And I don't care about full coverage on this. To be honest. Hi, Mindy. I'm going to do a little bit down here. Right, then let's see about some of these little stencils if you want to do another pattern. Hi, Deborah. Maybe that. I think I'll put this circle in a few places. This is a little harder than modeling paste to get full coverage, but hence the name grunge. Let's put one down here off the page. I think I'll put one up here. But when it dries, it'll take the sprays and let's put one coming out of this. And then I think I'll do that up here again where there's part of one. And part of one over here coming off. You do want to wash those off pretty soon. So I'm going to put that down in some water, that little one. All right, so we'll let that dry. And then we can come and work on that on another day. And maybe add some Lindy's or some dilutions or something. I don't know. Some glazes. What I will end up doing with it. I'll let that dry. And I think on this one, I want to put the fern. And this is a Deco Arts stencil. And it has more than one fern. I just cut it up. Yeah, I have modeling paste. I had bought this because I had seen Mary Beth Shaw use it with the distressed oxides, which I don't even have. But I liked the results that she got, so I thought I'd try it. And it worked really well when she used it in her journal and let it dry, and then she used the distressed oxides on it. It was really pretty. It took the color, almost like a soft watercolor, the way she used it. Okay. And then I think I'll use a little of this other. And this is also Deco Arts. Now this one got under the stencil, so scrape that back and start over. Okay. I'm gonna have these berries come out from the fern. And I'm going to do that again. And I'm going to have this come up here. Oh, yeah, Dot, I like it. Like I said, I cut the ferns apart I'll probably, in reality, cut this one because that's kind of just what I prefer to use them that way. And I'm going to put one more of the berry one up here. And I'm getting paint off that part of that stencil. I think that's good. And let me clean off. I don't have the sink right now, so what I'm going to do is I'm not going to keep that because it had some paint in it. But I'm going to spray those with water and hit them with a baby wipe until I can get them in water. Last time I used a toothbrush in the sink with some water just to make sure I knocked all that off the stencil. And I got most of that off. And then, like I said, I'll wash it later off stream. I just don't want the little parts to clog. All right. And then we'll let those dry and we'll play with those on another day. Hey, Joan. I was going to show you the pours since these are the dried pours that we did the other day. I have the other one over to the side. I'll show it to you when we work on it here in just a minute. This one, I think I'm going to put a little ballet girl, but I'm not positive, or a flamingo, because, you know, we all know how that will make Eileen happy if we had a flamingo. And on this one, I'm going to do a mermaid. All right, so let me set those aside. And what I'm going to use to paint with tonight are the Pitt pens. Let me move the camera in a little closer to salmon light flesh. I'm just trying to get the colors that I typically use for my skin tones. And I'm going to get a gray for the dress. And I'll probably give her some kind of brownish color here. All right. Yeah, I thought they turned out really nice. Let me zoom in the camera here a little bit. That should work. Still getting my bearings where I'm at on the camera. All right, so when I use the Pitt pens, the way I use them, if you have not seen me use them, is I use them over gel medium. So this is all covered in gel medium. She's white paper cut out, and then her dress is cut out. And I'll use my little pattern that I use to cut as a reference for the lines that I put in. And you can use and work the pins. You have a little bit of time. So I'll start on her dress. And if you don't like what you did, you can take a baby wipe and clean it up or wipe it back. You can also blend it with your fingers a little bit. Like I got a little on her skin. Just kind of put in the lines of the dress. Like that one, I think is too centered. So I'm going to pull back. And I'm going to take this one out here on the edge. Do I need to zoom in a little more? Hi, Kia. I can go closer, I think. And then we'll. I will say it's not sliding around very well. I probably have too thin a layer of gel medium. For this paper. Because this paper was a jelly printed piece of directions to a pattern. And I'm going to take a little bit of a lighter gray. Soften some of that. And add some shadows in. So I have 3 colors of gray that I'm actually using. To blend. Okay. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now I think I might look and see if I have little rhinestones to use. But let's work on her flesh. And the other thing is I use my fingers a lot. Oh, you got put in chat gel? That's just wrong. Hi, Josie. Also, one of the things we figured out on YouTube is if you put the streamer's name, like for example, if you put Debbie Epps, my whole name, and then your comment, it'll put like a red box for me on my name. But I will say it's not as hard with on this black screen to see it. All right, so I'm starting with the lightest color and just laying down a layer. And this is a medium skin tone. Let me find and I'm just going to go back up into that area where the hair is. And then I'm going to blend it with my finger. This is Light Flesh, which is I don't think it's lighter actually. And I'm going to add, I think they labeled them backwards, but and I'm just going to come in and add some and then the color that I use also that does not come in the Flesh set. If anybody who got at Hobby Lobby got the Flesh set and you want to do girls or people, sorry, cinnamon. Is a great color for adding in like the darker areas. And I use it on the edges too. Okay, and then there is really not much to the face. It's mostly going to be hair because it's a side profile. And I want to move this line. I'll take the lighter color and clean it up a little and lift. On both sides. And come back in, put a more definite line. Well, and then there is this medium flesh. This is medium skin. This is light flesh. And this is medium flesh. And it comes across pretty pink. But I do use it in a few areas usually. But very sparingly. I'm going to come down to the, there's very little of her foot showing. And I'm going to come back in with the gray and put like a silvery shoe on her. Okay. Let's do her hair. Let's get all right, I'm gonna start with a raw umber. And I'm gonna go to what they call nougat. And add a little bit of, and then I'm going to go to a dark sepia. Okay. Then I'm going to come back in with a little bit of the lighter color again. Now, I will tell you, I like to work with the smaller ones. Just coming in and lifting. Use the edge of my fingernail. Hi, Sophia. We were just wondering where you were the other day. We were worried about you. All right, so I'm going to call her done. And the last thing I do is once these dry, they're permanent. But I'm not sure that because they're on top of the gel medium, you can scratch it off. So what I usually do is put a coat of the gel medium over so that the ink is trapped between layers of gel medium. And I use Mod Podge because I go through it by the gallons. You can use whatever medium you prefer. The technique will work the same. The rest of this is already covered, so I'm not worried about that. But she's done. Yeah, we missed you, Sophia. We were worried about you and the kiddos. All right, so I'm going to put that one aside to dry. I'll need to sign it somewhere. I'm just not sure where. Probably over here where this music paper is. But let's put that to dry. And we'll go ahead and work on so her dress is blue. She'll have a face. Make her more of a redhead. I'm getting a cobalt blue. And I'll probably use some black since the print is so, since this is so dark, I might need to use the black along with the darker gray. So I'm going to start out with the blue. And if you put it down in a line and then you pull across and come back, you'll get like a painterly mark. Let me pull that up closer so you can see. But I'm just building some shadows. Hi, Shy. Okay, and then there's... And sometimes when I put the paper on for the dresses, I might have to cover a white edge, like maybe if it wasn't cut exactly. Right. Now, these pins are permanent when they dry. And some of you I know have been just recently got them at Hobby Lobby. The way I use them, you have to, it's over gel medium. If you use them directly to paper, they will not work like this. Okay, and then there's a line. This is the wrap. Okay. Hi, Carol. Or CB. Still can't get used to some of the different names on YouTube. All right, so now I'm going to come in and just add some grays and darken up a couple areas. Okay. I'm pretty happy with her dress. I am going to come up and brighten up her straps a little. Right, clean off my hands real quick. Get a different. One of the things I do when I do this, I don't use a lot of the baby wipes, so I will cut off like a little square to use and leave the rest in the package. And I go through less. All right, so let's go back to the light flesh. And we'll put that on everywhere. Try not to pick up any of that blue. Right now. She has some gold jewelry on that will. See that my hand was dirty, so I polluted that color because I just didn't get all the gray. Okay. Sorry, I'm turning it just to help me get in these areas. I'm not going to worry about where her hair is at this point. Okay. And I'm going to come in. Just her leg down here is not that much of it showing. So that'll be easy. I'll check her arms and hands. Yeah. Can't really see her hand so much. Like you can't see the details. In fact, I mean, we're gonna pop a little shadow in there. On that one. Work on her arms, and then I'll come up and work on her face. Okay, and she's going to have a little bit of a shadow in here too. Because she really is just resting her hand. And let's go ahead and put in her bracelet. I'm going to use a gold color first, just a golden yellow. And then I'm going to come in with this raw umber. In the back. And then kind of in the front, if I can. And then I have a gold metallic. The problem with the gold metallic is they don't stay very well, so that might try to come off. So that gives her some bangles. Thanks, Sophia. Okay. So now I'm going to work on her face and her neck. Collarbone, kind of. I'm going to put those lines in and then kind of work them back out. I'm using the light color to kind of pick up Okay. I'm going to put a suggestion of her hair in. I'm going to start with a light brown. She has a flower in her hair. I'll get in there later. All right. And then I'm going to come in with a reddish color. Then I add some more. I'll hold it up for you to see in just a minute. Come back in. Okay, that gives her kind of a reddish brown. She's got a little flower in her hair. And I'm going to use pink if I can find it. And I'm going to use this flesh color. So I'm going to use a kind of a lavender. And I'm going to come in with that flesh tone. And I don't even think I'm going to use that pink. And then I have like a mulberry color that is a script. And I'm going to take a little bit of this golden color, put it in the middle. Maybe just even a little bit of this brown. So that gives her hair and her flower. Okay. I can zoom in a little on the face. Some more, I think. Move the canvas here. Hi, Kimberly. Good evening to anybody who came in that I didn't see. When I start doing this, I kind of get in the zone of, and I get focused. We'll get her face done, and then she'll be done. And then we can work on the little girl. See how far we get on that. Okay, so I want to start with, and it's just usually a suggestion. The nose is the hardest part. And then what I can do is I can take that lighter pen and soften. And create. All right, then I'll come in with the more pink tone. And then I usually just come in and start white paint pen, number 1 and a number 3. Put some white back in there. Right. I need a piece of paper. I know this is hard to see. Let me come together here just a second. I'll turn this upside down for a minute. I think I want that hair to kind of come a little lower because she needs eyebrows. Again, it's hard to get this really fine detail, so I usually come in with a light flash and kind of manipulate it. Mouth is a little. So I'm just gonna come back in and adjust the mouth. A little bit. And I'm going to take a little bit of green. Put in a little green where her eye is. Put in a suggestion of an eyelash. I'll hold this up for you in a minute. And I think I'm going to come in with that mulberry color and add a little lipstick. some detail to the lips a little bit. Let me clean up. Give her a little bit more of a chin back. And she's not perfect, but you get the illusion of a face. It's a little wonkier today, maybe. If I like that eyebrow. So I just keep playing with it. Why it's manipulable. Or can be manipulated. So. All right, so I'm pretty happy with her. Like I said, it's not perfect, but when you look at it at a distance in the hole, then I'm not too unhappy. Just really, it's about cleaning up. Areas too. All right, so what I'll do is give her a layer of gel medium. Now on the face, I don't like to pull. There are a few colors that bleed when they're still a little new. So usually what I'll do on the face is pat a layer and then let it, because I don't want to smear the eye or smear the. Okay, and I am going to put a coat of gel medium on this quote because I want to add, and I want to put some gel medium right here on her flowers. Just a light coat again. Right, let me dry this real quick. Colorado was fine. Just a second, CB. We had some issues with our room. When we got checked in, I want some pink around the quotes, I think. And you got to have this dry before you touch it, the gel medium. there was a wet towel in the room, and we were like, what? That makes, so they moved us to a different room. We comped us breakfast. We ate that first night. We stayed at a Holiday Inn, and I was kind of disappointed with the service. They locked us out of our room 2 nights in a row. We had to get our, and then they charged the wrong card when we'd already paid for it. Wasn't all that impressed with any of the food at any of the restaurants we ate at. To the point where it just sort of gave up. But this town is kind of coming back. And so I think they're doing a lot of things on a shoestring. And it'll be better. I believe, you know, I would definitely go back. The little museum was good that we went in. The one lady I talked to, the artist, I really loved her work. And then we went to Pueblo. And it has a nice river walk with restaurants and little shopping area. There would have been more to do if we'd gone up to Colorado Springs. Okay, then I thought I might put a little tint of pink in the flowers. And maybe even some green. But we, you know, we hadn't been on vacation in a long time, so we enjoyed it. It was a long, long drive home. Because we stopped too much, or Bob was so tired. And I'm not much help. I didn't drive very much. Till I get my surgery for my cataracts. I'm not much help. All right. So that just brought a little bit of the green up and kind of went around. I think I want to go around with let me find that number 5. On the quote, I just want to. Yeah, I had fun. I bought 2 pieces of art. Finally, we just enjoyed laughing and joking in the car and spending time together. So even the driving wasn't bad. All right, so that one's done. Go ahead and sign it over here. Thank you, Joan. So I just signed it down here on the flowers. And I'll probably give it one more coat of gel medium later. Or, well, actually, it'll get a coat of varnish on top of it. Oh, I'll show you, CB. See where I put them. Oh, let's see where I put them. The first one I got was an oil pastel by Nancy Goodenough. Let me back the camera out because I got it zoomed in. So it's an oil pastel. I wanted something that was kind of indicative of the area. And then the other one I got was a photograph that had been digitally manipulated. And I thought this was real pretty. But this has definitely been in one of those apps. I think it was a photograph because he was an photographer. So I've got those set over the side with Shauna's flowers so I could get those framed. All right. So the last one I'm going to work on tonight is this one here. And I'm going to get a blue and a teal. And I've already cleaned the pour. Trying to make some of these cells darker. And I'm going to put in like a horizon. And I think I'll use a gray to do that. I'm going to turn that upside down. Okay, just so. All right, so there's a foreground. All right. Let's work on the umbrella. I'm going to use the teal. Which is going greener. So let's try this green. Permanent green olive. Let's try this. I think that'll work better. Okay. And then this is turn it upside down just to get the gist of it. Okay, and then there's not really a lot of spokes visible here. Give it a green handle. And then we'll use the black. So that gives, I'm going to take that gray. Oh, and then let's come in with gray on the handle. Just the tip. I need it. I think that works for the umbrella. And that's dry. I need to get the other little part of the baby white. Okay, so thank you. Her jeans, I'm going to use 2 colors for her jeans, and her little boots, I'm going to put yellow and the green. Okay, there's where her boots are. And then I'm going to put a light blue in where her jeans are. That's my base. All right. And then I'm going to come in with a color that is like a denim color. I just found a pen that I was looking for earlier. All right, it's Indoranthan blue, but it makes a great denim. Okay. Okay, so that gives her a little pair of jeans. And I'm going to take that green. Just going to give a little bit of a back here. Her boot. I don't know if Sandra's streaming tonight. If somebody sees that she comes on, let me know. I'm almost done. And if I don't finish this tonight, the world won't come to an end. I'm going to put a little hand in. All right. And her face is in profile, so it's not a lot about a face either. Put that color up there. More about her ear. Clean that up with. Okay. A little bit of a shadow in here. Okay. We need our little pen. Oh, I don't like. Okay. Take that little one. Try to get it to work. I'm trying. It's got gel medium on it, probably. All right, let's give her some hair. That's just like an illusion of a face. A little pink on the lip, maybe. All right, let's give her some hair. All right, I'm going to go with a gray layer to start with. It's going to be dark. Okay. Darken some of that. Okay, now I'm going to come in with some black. Okay. I'm satisfied with that. Need to give her a little eyebrow. Okay. And now we just need the coat. A little bit of gray in here. I'll come back in with the green. Okay, now we need the hood. Let's put a little gray in here. All right, and then it goes up. And I'm going to put the green with the gray in the inside. Okay. And I think that's good. The only place it needs a dark line back in is right in here. All right, let's let that dry, just set up a little bit. I'm going to put these pins back. Where they belong. And then we'll put a layer of gel medium on it. I keep trying to tell Janet, if you're watching this, Janet, you need to get a micro tower. When we first moved here, I could not upload a book because it would time out. Bob kept dropping calls in his part of the house where he tends to sit. and we would get buffering when we were watching videos. And we went to AT&T. We live in an area that is known for having weak signals and dropping calls. So we went to talk to them to find out what we could do. And we were going to have to change services if push came to shove. And we got what they call a micro tower. And it works for 10 phone lines. And it boosts. Businesses use them. And what it does is it boosts the cell tower signal. We have interference or we're not near enough to a cell tower to get steady service. And all that made, like, we went from having, you know, on your phone, when you have this, symbol on your phone. This is what I had before the micro tower. Maybe if I was lucky, it would do that occasionally. That is what I have all the time, 24/7, since we added the micro tower. We paid for it, and they run around $100. We just missed a deal, but you can probably, we know people who have gotten AT&T to provide one because their service was so poor. We just did not negotiate that. But we probably should have. I'm going to add just a little bit of a darker line back here. But I think that's what Janet needs because she's at a lake area and there's so many things that could cause interference in her part of Oklahoma, the mountains and where she's at. I think that would help Zandra too, because we get their highest internet. Yeah, the first thing we tried was a little hotspot, but that was not enough because we weren't getting a strong enough signal. And what micro towers came around is because businesses would use them because they had to ensure that they had consistent service when they were uploading for like cells, for transitions for cells. Okay, I'm just putting a layer of gel medium over everything we just did. Again, I'll come in with varnish after it's dry and varnish it. Wet black and wet brown are one of the colors that can bleed on you occasionally. All right, and I think we want to add a quote to this. And I'm going to use one of these. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. We got all our bars lit up on our, and it's consistent. I thought about the promise of all things made new. I saw some in the light. Everything that you have in white, you have. Let me see. What did I see? You make my heart smile. Everything begins and ends with you. Say yes to new adventures. Which ones do we like? There's also May Your Day Be Full of Sunshine, but it's not sunshine, obviously. How about Spring is in the Air, the promise of all things made new? Okay, I'm going to use that. So put that right here. Spring is in the air. The promise of all things made new. I think. All right, I'm going to put a little gel medium over that. Okay. Yes, that would have been good, but they don't have that in here. There's also Say Hello to a New Day. But I wanted to use something from that. So I think she's done. So that gives me 3 that I need to varnish. Yes, they're lost. All right, so we have that one done. Then we have this one finished. And this one finished. And I may sign this one here along the we'll get a different pen. I am so hard on my black pens and Poscas and things. Even when it's dry, sometimes you'll get a layer. I think these fine tips, you get a layer of the gel medium wax built up, sort of. All right, so they're all, like I said, those are all ready to varnish. Yeah, I took a nap. I took a Tay-Tay and I took a nap. My Tay-Tay missed me. So we took a nap when we were doing laundry, reading a book. All right. Well, I'm still done in time for Xander to stream if she's going to bless us with her presence tonight. I don't know how she's feeling. Oh, I'm not going to stack them permanently. They won't get stacked along. They'll just lay here on the desk. So weird figuring out where to put it in the camera. So I know that I'm going to work on a bear project. Oh, Z isn't streaming. I'm going to work on a bear project for Kathy Berg. So we're going to experiment with that. I'll probably watercolor a little Colorado type scene, maybe. And I need to do the other two pours, a mermaid and I think a ballerina, but I haven't decided for sure on the other two. So, like I said, this one, I'm pretty sure I want a mermaid, maybe a mermaid sitting on a rock. I may do the same mermaid that I sold. Just put her sitting on a rock right in here. But I'm not sure. I haven't decided. I may just do like a mermaid swimming too. I haven't decided. So I just know I want a mermaid on this one. This is the one I'm not sure about. And it could be that it just needs a quote or a coat and nothing. So what do we think about this one here? Like what, should we put something on it or leave it as it is and put a quote on it? Oh, I'm finished up. I'm just, like I said, I don't want to kind of decide about this one. I'm indecisive. Had a little girl that was a ballerina that I thought about putting on like that. What I might do is I might do the girl in pencil on paper and then cut her out and see if I want to use her on here or not, is what I'll probably end up doing. I think the other thought was a flamingo. That maybe a flamingo could go on it. I don't know how I want to put it. Yeah. Yeah, the little ballet girl maybe in a quote is what I'm leaning towards. Don't do florals. I just don't. So, I don't know. All right. Thanks of you guys for hanging out. And for those of you watching on YouTube, thanks for recording. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell, and then you'll get the notice when I stream. Yeah, I thought I could do flamingos, and then we could send you the book, Shauna. You mean this book that I bought? I'm trying. I just don't know. You never know, Shauna. All right, guys, I am going to end the stream on that note. Oh, I'll use it over time. I want to try to watercolor some flowers. I just don't have the brushes or the patience right now. I give up too easily, I guess. So I just need to work on it. All right. Yeah, I'll probably stream tomorrow after Jean during Ella's time. All right. Bye, guys.